You? Build an app? Maya, come on, you can't even finish your coffee without spiraling. That's what my brother said. I remember the way he laughed, like I had just told him I was running for president, like my dream didn't deserve to be taken seriously. And the worst part, I believed him for a long time. It was my 29th birthday. We were sitting at a long family dinner table, all candlelight and fake smiles. Jason had flown in from San Francisco, Mr. Tech Genius himself, founder of 2 startups and a VC darling. Me? I'd just quit my job. No health insurance, no funding, just a sketchbook full of wireframes and an app prototype built on a free plan. I finally told the table, I'm building something. It's called Cora. It's a mental health companion app for women with panic disorders. I'm coding it myself. Jason nearly choked on his wine. He turned to our cousin and said, Maya thinks she's a founder now. Wait until she hits her first stack trace. Everyone laughed, except me. The idea for Cora came to me during a panic attack. Not a poetic moment, not a lightning bolt, just a cold bathroom floor at 3 a.m. and me whispering to myself, I wish there was something I could press that wouldn't make it worse. See, my brain is loud, crowded, crashing, like I'm standing in a room full of alarms with no exit. And every panic attack felt like drowning with my eyes wide open. So I built something that I needed, a digital breathe button, a soft voice in the dark, no pop-ups, no goals, no toxic positivity, just grounding, quiet, control. I called it Cora, and I didn't care if it ever made a dime. I just wanted it to keep someone alive for one more night. I launched the beta to 10 people. 2 of them were my friends. The rest were strangers from a Reddit thread I posted at 2 a.m. The feedback? Crushing. It's glitchy. Too simple. The voice notes sound like an AI therapist having a breakdown. I cried, hard, then took the app down completely. Jason found out and sent me a voice memo. Told you. You're not built for this. That voice memo, I saved it, and I played it every time I wanted to quit. A month later, I almost deleted the whole thing. I got rejected from 4 incubators. My laptop overheated mid-debug, and I opened my fridge to find moldy cheese and a single egg. That was dinner, but then I got an email. Subject, Cora saved me. It was from a 19-year-old in Ohio. She wrote, Your app stopped me from cutting last night. I hit the breathe button, and then I just listened. And for the first time in months, I didn't feel crazy. Thank you, I sobbed so hard I dropped my phone. And right then, I realized this wasn't just an app. This was a lifeline, and I had to keep going. Not for Jason, not for the downloads, for her. I rewrote everything from scratch. I learned proper UI UX, took free night courses in trauma-informed design, recorded new sound libraries in my closet under a blanket with a $30 mic. Every bug fix felt like a tiny act of revenge. Every new feature, a middle finger to everyone who said I couldn't. I worked 14-hour days, did freelance design work to pay rent, didn't see a movie, a date, or daylight for months. But I didn't care, because something told me Cora was going to matter. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and suddenly everyone looks at you different, like, now they're listening. I didn't know that feeling until Cora hit 30 million downloads in 7 days. And the first person to call me was Jason, but I didn't pick up because I had just walked on stage to accept a Global Tech Award as the founder of the most downloaded mental wellness app in the world. And you won't believe what happened next. Jason didn't stop at laughing. After that dinner, he pulled me aside in the kitchen, away from the cousins and candlelight. He leaned against the fridge and said, You think this little wellness thing is going to blow up? Maya, real startups don't get built on trauma. He said it so casually, like he was doing me a favor. You'll burn out. You don't have the network, or the temperament, or the capital. Trust me, save yourself the embarrassment. Then he opened a $12 bottle of kombucha, patted me on the shoulder, and walked out. Like my life was already decided. You'd think that would have fueled me, lit a fire. But the truth, it broke me for a while, because when your own brother doesn't believe in you, it's not just criticism. It feels like rejection written into your DNA. I stopped showing people my prototype. I ghosted a pitch meeting I was invited to. I started telling myself, maybe this is just a side project. Maybe he's right. Jason had always been the golden one, straight A's. First to get into Stanford. He built his first app at 14, a GPA calculator. Mine was a digital mood board of cats in flower crowns. It crashed every time you tried to scroll. Our parents bragged about him at parties. Me, I was the creative one, which in our family was code for not serious. So when I said I was launching something, it wasn't just that no one believed me, it was that no one ever had. But then came the wildfire. It started with a TikTok. A therapist in New York posted a 15-second clip. POV, your client is mid-panic attack, and you hand them Cora. She wasn't paid. She just loved it. That video hit 4.2 million views in 2 days. Downloads exploded overnight. The servers crashed. I stayed up for 31 hours straight patching back-end infrastructure with duct tape and desperation. Then came the emails from mothers, nurses, flight attendants, college students. I finally slept through the night. Cora stopped me from driving off a bridge. This should be required in every high school. I was overwhelmed, grateful, terrified, but mostly determined. This thing had legs. I wasn't going to let it die because some VC bros couldn't see the ROI in empathy. Then came the betrayal. A month after the TikTok virality, Jason called me, but this time not to mock me. "You've got lightning in a bottle, Maya. Let's talk acquisition." He said he had a contact at a major tech firm. They wanted to buy Cora. Offer on the table, $800,000. That was more money than I'd ever seen. Enough to wipe out my debt, enough to prove everyone wrong, but something felt off. He kept calling it a cute exit. He said, "You're not really the long-term founder type. You're the idea person. They'll turn this into something real." And just like that, the compliment turned into a cage. I was exhausted, burned out from handling press, running updates solo, getting hate mail from trolls calling the app snowflake nonsense. I opened my laptop and looked at the offer again. $800,000. It would change my life. But then I thought of that 19-year-old girl from Ohio. I thought of the messages from women who said Cora helped them not end theirs. And I realized they wouldn't get version 2.0. They'd get a sterilized, ad-filled, investor-approved rebrand. The soul of Cora would be ripped out, replaced with buzzwords and buttons. Jason wouldn't be helping me. He'd be burying the thing I built. So I declined, and he lost it. "You'll regret this. You're blowing your only shot. No one's going to keep downloading once the hype dies." Then came the final jab. "This is why no one takes you seriously, Maya. You're too emotional to win." Click. That was the last time I picked up his calls. The next week, Cora hit 5 million downloads in a single day. A national news outlet ran a story. Meet the solo developer saving women's lives with her app. And guess who suddenly had more offers on the table than I could count? But I wasn't interested in selling anymore. Not because I wanted to be a hero, but because I was just getting started. And then something happened. Something no one could have predicted. Cora didn't just go viral. It started saving lives at scale. And that was when the world finally saw what Jason never did. Cora wasn't just doing well. It was dominating. Apple featured it on the front page of the App Store under Apps We Love. Mental health influencers were calling it the most human app ever built. Journalists stopped calling me a solo developer. They started calling me a founder. And every morning I woke up to a flood of messages like, "I used to scream into a pillow. Now I scream into Cora, and she gets me." There were mothers using it to calm their kids during meltdowns. ER nurses using it mid-shift, students using it under desks between exams. Cora was no longer mine. She belonged to millions. And that's when the vultures started circling. One of my users sent me a screenshot. It was from a new app called Vive, same features, same UI, even the same calming voice intro. Hey, you're okay, I've got you. Except I didn't make it. I scrolled further. Guess who was listed as co-founder? Jason. He'd cloned my app. Not borrowed, not inspired by, cloned. Same breath counter, same emotion journal. Even my icon, slightly recolored. He'd taken everything he mocked, everything he dismissed, and wrapped it in shiny venture packaging. He raised $2.8 million in pre-seed capital in less than a month. Because of course he did. He had the connections, the investor buddies, the smile that screams trust fund with pitch deck experience. And me, I had users, but no legal team, no funding, no protection. Imagine creating something from scratch, out of trauma, love, survival. Imagine bleeding into it. Then imagine your own brother stealing it, sanitizing it, and pitching it as a scalable female-focused calm tech solution on a TEDx stage, because that's what he did. And the worst part, he used my story in his pitch, called it a tribute to his sister's courage. He didn't name me. He didn't have to. I broke down, uncontrollably, in the middle of a cafe. I slammed my laptop shut and sobbed. What's the point? He had the money, the team, the media training. What was I supposed to do? Tweet about it? For 2 days, I unplugged everything. I laid in bed. I told myself, maybe this is where it ends. And then, my phone buzzed. It was a DM from someone with a blue check mark and millions of followers, a digital rights lawyer. She wrote, I know you built Cora, and I saw what your brother did. Want help? She wasn't just any lawyer. She specialized in protecting indie developers from corporate theft. Within 48 hours, she'd assembled a small army of IP experts, forensic analysts, and reputation strategists. We documented everything. The code-based similarities, the plagiarized voice lines, time-stamped assets from my GitHub, even Jason's emails hinting at acquisition, proof he'd seen the original back-end structure. And then we went public. One post, that's all it took. A side-by-side TikTok showing Cora versus Viv. The caption, he laughed at her app, then stole it. She fought back. It hit 9.4 million views in 24 hours. And suddenly, the narrative flipped. People weren't just using Cora, they were defending it. The comments were a war zone. Vive is a clone. Boycott. Jason equals tech bro thief. Protect Maya at all costs. And then came the press, The Verge, TechCrunch, Wired, all telling the same story. How a solo founder built a life-saving app and beat the system trying to silence her. Jason tried to pivot, released a statement saying Vive was inspired by multiple sources, tried to rebrand as a wellness platform instead of an app. Didn't work. Investors pulled out, app ratings tanked, users deleted Vive in droves. Within a week, Vive was pulled from the App Store for IP violation and user trust breaches. Jason deactivated his Twitter. And me? I launched Cora 2.0. This time, it wasn't just for panic. It had new modules: grief, burnout, emotional regulation, a built-in distress signal for users in danger, and a trauma-informed AI trained by licensed therapists. Downloads 30 million in 1 week. We had to upgrade our servers 3 times in 48 hours. And for the first time ever, I hired a team. Every one of them. Women who'd been told they were too emotional for tech. We built Cora into a sanctuary, and when the dust settled, I sat down at my desk, opened my voice recorder, and played Jason's old memo. You're not built for this. Then I hit delete, smiled, and whispered, You're right, I'm built for more. Cora hit 30 million downloads in 7 days. Not with ads, Not with a team of bros in Patagonia vests, not with venture capital breathing down my neck, with truth, with trauma, with code stitched together at 3 a.m. in the dark by a woman who had everything to lose and no one left to prove it to. I was invited to speak at the same tech summit Jason had spoken at the year before, where he'd called himself a champion of mental resilience. This time, I walked out in black jeans and a hoodie, no slides, no pitch deck, just one sentence on the screen behind me. What they laugh at now, they'll steal later. The room went silent, and I told the story, not to get applause, but to plant a seed in every woman sitting in that audience who's ever been told she's too much, too sensitive, too unstable, too emotional to lead. Let me say this clearly. Emotion is not a weakness. It's data. It's instinct. It's why Cora works. I learned something in those brutal months building Cora. Something no accelerator or tech incubator will ever teach you. When no one opens the door, you build your own damn house. When they laugh at your vision, don't shout back. Building. When they steal your work, don't beg for credit. Document it, then burn them down with receipts. And if you're scared, that means you're close. Fear is a sign you're no longer shrinking to fit someone else's idea of small. To every girl in a hoodie, coding in silence while the world counts you out. To the woman bringing therapy to the kitchen table because no one taught her how to cry. To the founder sketching wireframes on napkins while working 2 jobs. You are not invisible. You are inevitable. Cora was never just an app. It was a love letter to everyone who ever had to patch themselves back together without instruction. So if you're watching this, drop a comment. What's something they laughed at you for that you still believe in? Like and subscribe. If this story reminded you, the ones they doubt the hardest are usually the ones they try to copy later. Share this with someone who's building in silence, someone who's healing loud, someone who deserves to know. They are not crazy. They are early. Last week I got a package in the mail, no return address. Inside, a sleek box, black matte. I opened it. It was a Vive business card, Jason's. Scratched out in Sharpie was the word CEO underneath it. Just one handwritten line. I was wrong. No apology, no flowers, just that. I smiled, tossed it in the trash, and went back to work. Because while he was drafting excuses, I was designing the next version of Cora, one that would partner with schools, hospitals, refugee camps, places where calm isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. They said I wasn't built for this. They were right. I wasn't built for silence. I wasn't built for shrinking. I wasn't built for small. I was built for impact, for rage turned to resilience, for code written in blood and purpose. And now, Cora doesn't need a man to validate her. She has 30 million voices behind her, and she's just getting started. Love.